Welcome back to Chakra Free Radio. I'm Gopal.
I'm Raymond.
I'm also Raymond.
We'd like to thank you for joining us for this episode titled Confessions of a Recovering Tom Brady Hater. But first, we have our very first guest on Chakra Free Radio, Mr. Ray Lemieux.
Hello.
Ray, happy Saturday to you.
Same. Thank you.
So for just some quick background on Ray Lemieux, married, 3 children, living in the Boston suburbs, a home builder in the Boston suburbs, lifelong New Englander.
All true.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think your state of Maine, growing up, but yeah, how long have you been in the Boston area?
I left right after high school, so I've been here far longer than I was in Maine. So birth to senior in high school, Maine, and then here.
Right.
I thought I'd be here for a year.
Right.
And here we are 40 years later.
Yeah. And a fun fact about Ray Lemieux, he was in a band called, appropriately enough for this episode, called The Heretics.
Correct. Still in the band.
Still in the band, yeah.
We play far less frequently than we did, but still active. And yes, it's with an X, by the way, Heretics with an X.
Yeah. And an amazing part of the story is that your band was actually signed to Island Records.
Correct.
So
yeah.
You were technically label mates with a little band called U2.
Yep. And Bob Marley.
At
the time, which was really fun when you got to go through the record store section of Island Records in New York.
Yeah.
Just take whatever you want, guys.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, you've had, the experience of being in a band signed to a major label. That's something that, a lot of people would give up everything for, and although your band didn't hit superstar status, it's still something that a lot of people would really, be a tremendous experience for them. I'm just curious on what it was like.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of, every musician's dream probably to bring your band to a point where you get signed. And then what happens after that is most typically you make it one record and you're let go for whatever reason. It happens to numerous Boston bands. And it happened to us. So we got the whole experience of recording in New York and recording in Boston and having a record mastered and all the photo work that goes with putting out a major label record, being around people in New York that you never would have been around. We had dinner with Joey Ramone and went to CBGB's with him. And, just as a way of them sort of showing how many people they knew and how cool they were as a label, they were throwing a lot of stuff at us and it was great.
Yeah.
And so we lived in New York for a year and did a record. And unfortunately, Island sold while we were signed to a big label like Polygram. So they cleaned house and a lot of bands were asked to leave. So that's the short, sad story of.
So I'm curious, what was it like hanging out with Joey Ramone?
Wonderful. Yeah.
Good guy.
Great guy. A guy that can say a lot without saying a lot. He had looks that you just knew, because there's nobody more popular in New York than Joey Ramone back in the day.
Right.
So he couldn't go anywhere without somebody saying, sign this for me, or I love your band or whatever. And we were at CBGB's and that was happening. And I turned around to get my drink or something. And I went back to talk to him and he was gone.
Right.
And I'm looking around like, I can't believe he just ghosted me. He just how he ditched me here. And then I noticed CBGB's had a phone booth and he hid in the phone booth and he's so big he had to shrink himself down and he's hiding in the phone booth waiting for the guy that was really annoying that was asking for signatures to leave. And then so we lost it. It was a great moment, and then he came back out and we continued our night.
Yeah. So you saw there were some downsides to the fame thing.
Sure, but I'll take them if I'd had the chance.
Yeah. So from rock music, turn to an uglier issue, which is human hatred. Listen, life's a difficult thing. I think a lot of us go through life and we have these experiences where maybe something is said to us. It could be a coworker, it could be someone close to you, and it may trigger a very, very strong emotional reaction in you. And I think those kinds of emotions can be very, very difficult to work through. And this episode, we're not actually dealing with that quite as much. What we're going to be dealing with is what maybe we could call irrational hatred. So we're talking about hatreds or intense dislikes we may have towards some random person who doesn't really have much to do with our day-to-day life other than what we choose to, to bring into ourselves. It could be a politician, celebrity, an athlete, and I think a lot of times we underestimate just how deep into our subconscious that sentiment might be and how it might be impacting our day-to-day life without us really even being aware of it. So first off, Ray Scarduzio, Ray Lemieux, any intense hatreds or dislikes of an irrational nature that you're willing to cop to?
I mean, as a Bostonian, probably Derek Jeter and Kobe for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, Boston Red Sox fan, Derek Jeter, we always hated him.
Yeah.
But then you realize, I realized, one, these guys don't pay any of our bills.
Right.
If we fight people, they're not coming to bail us out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As much as I love Big Papi, Manny Ramirez, all these guys, they're not gonna save me.
Right.
But you grow for an infinity for just everybody. You know what I mean? Towards their last ending seasons, I was like, oh, this guy is actually pretty decent human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why did we hate them so much? And obviously they were playing our team, but it was just we got to relax and just enjoy in the moment. But I will take no Tom Brady hatred. That's probably the only guy where I'm all right.
I'm gonna have to hold you guys back.
That's the GOAT.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. So there's actually a funny thing about Kobe. I don't know if you knew this. So there's I think it was an ESPN article. So back in 1996 when he was drafted, the Celtics had a high draft pick, and apparently the Celtics general manager staff really thought hard about drafting Kobe.
Yeah, he worked out for us.
Yeah.
They got that picture somewhere of him in the Celtics gear.
Yeah.
Working out.
Yeah. So I'm just asking you now, right? So you had all those years of hating Kobe. If there had been a slight change of decision-making by the Celtics front office, I mean, you would have loved Kobe all those years.
Yeah. But it's only the fact that the rivalry, you know what I mean?
Right.
It gets imprinted in your brain, in your brain to dislike them.
Right.
And then eventually you grow older and you get wiser and you realize, why are we hating these people? They're just humans playing a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Important lesson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which took me a long time to learn.
They're regular people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can't. I have nothing to add to that because I always looked at the other teams if they're better than us and we lose, fine. I love that they're a great team. When it comes to hockey and another team's passing around us and we're just lost. I mean, good for them. My irrational hatred, which I guess is based in some reason, is the refs or the umps. When they're getting it wrong and really not doing their jobs or just bad at their jobs, that's where I lose it and I start being vocal. I don't typically yell at the other team or whether professional sports or whatever. I think if you're an awesome athlete, good for you, man. You put in the time.
Yeah.
Good for you. So I never had that player hatred, but I just really don't like it when the refs and the umps blow it.
Yeah.
Then people
that's
will
also
know I'm in the
hard too,
stands.
because we've seen some crazy calls.
Yeah.
But these are also people in the moment, in that whatever arena, they got to make a split second decision.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only one that I could think of that was egregious that I and it's not even, I'm not even a fan of this team, was I think 3 or 4 years ago, that Saints call.
Yeah, the Saints. Yeah.
Bro,
That was
I was
Saints,
Saints
dude, Rams.
Yeah, I was that's egregious.
Yeah, it was a tough call.
And that would have gave us Brady versus Breeze in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was an egregious call. I'm dude, come on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Based on the title episode and the fact that Ray Scarduzio and Ray Lemieux are lifelong New Englanders, by default, that would mean that the person suffering from Tom Brady hatred syndrome would be me. So I want to give just a little bit of context about this issue I've had over the years. So first of all, I know there are a lot of other NFL fans out there who hate Tom Brady. Either because he's ruined their seasons or, whatever. And I also know for a fact that there are a lot of women out there who suffer from GBHS, which is any guess?
Giselle Brady.
Giselle
Bündchen,
hatred syndrome.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And so there's a funny story, at least for me. So I had moved to Boston in 2001, and I was actually there at the very first game Tom Brady started in 2001. It was against the Colts. It was in September. I had just started a new job, and I was pretty busy at work, and I hadn't been paying that much attention to what was going on in sports. So we get to the game, and they're going through warm-ups. I was like, "Where's Drew Bledsoe?" You know?
Yeah.
I was like, "Who's this Brady guy?" And little did I realize that this guy Tom Brady would essentially ruin my fall and winter weekends for the next 15 years of my life. You know, and so for context, I grew up in Pittsburgh, lifelong Steelers fan, and there's always been a natural rivalry between the Steelers and Patriots. But then once TB showed up on the scene, it became very, very one-sided. You know,
I had some years though.
Not often. You know, I think the Steelers beat a Tom Brady team as many times as they went to the Super Bowl in the last 20, 25 years. You know, it was a very, very infrequent occurrence. You know.
Yeah.
I sit here now and I look at it rationally and I'm like, why did I spend so much time hating this guy? But at the time, it was just like, I felt like it was like ruining my NFL experience, you know?
I'm surprised you didn't switch sports and start watching soccer.
That maybe would have been the rational thing to do.
Question.
Yeah.
You didn't dislike the Ravens more than you disliked Brady?
No, oddly enough. Yeah. Oddly enough. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, it got so bad.
Seeing Ray Lewis and Ed Reed torment Ben Roethlisberger.
It should have been enough, right?
Yeah.
No. I think it really got to the point where I was happier when the Patriots lost than when the Steelers won. I think that's kind of when it's like, you know.
Well, now that you bring it up, I guess over the past just few years, like however long he's been in the league, I have kind of a Mahomes issue. Like I don't think it's a hatred, but I just don't want to see that guy win anymore. And the way he plays is annoying, and all of that. It's like, but he's winning and he's good at what he does. Yes, but it just I have an irrational annoyance with him for sure.
Yeah.
Do I want him to win? No. Do I think he's a very, very good player? Yes.
Yeah. And I think thankfully, I have maybe a little bit of a different perspective on this now, but the thing I've realized now is that every time I was miserable because Brady had knocked the Steelers out, the two of you were really happy,
Yeah, well, that says something about the energy in the world, right?
Right. And so now, at the time I would have been really pissed off. Now, in retrospect, I can say, I'm glad you guys got so much enjoyment at my expense.
It's weird now because I don't even if we win now or we lose, I just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know what happened. Maybe just because I passed 30 that I just started acting like that. But I'm like, yeah, guys, good job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think ultimately, listen, at the end of the day, I was hating a guy for doing his job.
Yeah.
His job was to win and to do it as frequently as he could. And God bless him, he was really, really good at it.
Yeah. I think I have no problem finding other things to do. If I get into that, if I was in your position, I would have been like, I'm going to start gardening. I'm not going to watch football on Sundays anymore. I would just go, I guess I'm a fair weather sports fan in that regard.
Yeah. It's a healthier approach.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Did you do that last year?
Yeah. I don't cling to these teams. I know they're my teams. I've lived here forever. I'm a lifelong New Englander, but if it's a sour season for the Celtics, I'm not watching the Celtics. I mean, I was right through Paul Pierce's, 10, 12 years?
Yeah.
And they won once. I mean, those were some miserable seasons.
Yeah.
And the Red Sox have had some real down days, And then when that became the thing to watch, it was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, baseball is just, I have an affinity for baseball. I think over all the sports, so it's I can just watch it and just watch the game. You know what I mean? Yes, I love the Red Sox, undoubtedly. but like I can watch other teams and just love the game of baseball. Like I'll just
Right.
watch the pitchers, watch everything about it. You know what I mean? And just love it. It does not matter to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think for me with the Tom Brady thing, there was actually a specific moment where I was like, I can't hate this guy anymore.
Yeah.
And that was the Super Bowl against the Falcons. I'm just like, how did this guy pull this comeback?
That was
off?
amazing.
Oh
Either that one or the Seahawks one.
Yeah, both. But that one especially. I mean, they're down 28-3 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of right went right.
Yeah.
With not a lot of time left.
Yeah.
Like it almost seemed mathematically impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you watch that, like this is not a sports podcast, but whenever you watch it, you can just see the Falcons. Like you can just see the energy drain from them. Like they're like they're watching it in third person.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, it's gonna happen. Yeah. And they're not trying to stop it. Like Matt Ryan looks like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
And the only person who I like thought that was like locked in was Julio Jones the whole time.
Yeah.
Just making ridiculous catches.
Yeah.
The whole game.
Yeah.
But that defense, it's like they saw Thanos, bro.
Yeah. Totally.
It was just like it's inevitable. Like they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's like somebody told them a story in the locker room before the game that's happened before.
Like you're gonna be up
and when
by
they
24.
saw it start, they're like, "Oh man, we can't do anything now."
Yeah. So I guess that was the end of my active Tom Brady hating phase. So that was I guess 15, 16 years of hatred. I'm kind of I got a lot of years to undo all that hatred. So I'm being dead serious about this. I actually wish nothing but happiness and success and well-being to Tom Brady. If for no other reason than I sent a lot of negative thoughts his way for a very long time. So God bless, man.
So you've clearly spent time thinking about what all of that ill will and how it affected you and how it affected those around you. Like that's 15 years of you being like with a cloud of hatred sort of emanating from you on Sundays at least.
Yeah. And for what?
Yeah.
I mean, he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
The amount of charitable stuff he does. I mean,
he was just a guy that was just doing his job at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah. And I hated him for it, right? What a stupid thing to do.
I think a lot of people would die for the passion that he came and brought to the game every single time he stepped on the field.
Yeah.
Like it was just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even think I have that passion to like wake up like half the time.
No, that you could see sometimes on the sidelines when Brady was trying to be the captain and the leader, and he's going through everybody sitting there. Like if it was a down moment for the Pats, he'd be, get your head up, do this better, do this right. And then after he'd walk by, you'd see the guys going, Tom being Tom again, but he was at least out there trying to be the coach, kind of like, come on guys, we got this. Let's do it. Like if your quarterback is not losing spirit and staying positive, it's got to help.
Yeah. And I will say, it's a lot easier to meditate now that I don't have to think about the fact that I hate Tom Brady. I'm just going to throw that out there. Makes
freed up some space.
Yeah. Makes the whole process a lot simpler. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, anything else on this topic?
Not sports wise for me. No.
Was there anybody else it was just Brady?
It was Brady by far, man. There was no one else.
Those Ravens teams would have had me like ripping my hair out.
Yeah. But that was like a balanced rivalry. It was back and forth. They were, pretty evenly matched, through the years. Like the Pats thing was, when Brady was playing, it was a very one-sided affair.
Yeah.
As a Pats fan, do you think that the Pats and Steelers was a rivalry?
Yeah.
I don't really think it was. No, to me, I think more Ravens for me. We've seen them a lot in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is a fun. It's kind of like the Kobe thing,
Yeah.
This is the reality. If the Steelers had drafted Tom Brady in the 5th round in 2001, I would have loved Tom Brady for 25 years, Right? I mean, this is such a small thing.
Right. But you know him so much better because he was our guy.
Yeah,
So you saw
yeah,
him
yeah,
in
yeah.
news. You saw him every minute of his life. You heard about his relationships and his. I mean, if he was in another team, you would just seen him on Sundays. And
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what would have probably made us hate him the most if he went to the Cowboys. No,
Yeah.
really, dude. I don't understand how they're America's team
Yeah.
and they have not won anything. It does not make any sense to me.
Money,
I don't
money,
understand the publicity. Why Sports Center covers them so much, I do not get it. Like it just like baffles me. I'm like, why are we talking about a team that literally barely makes the playoffs?
Yeah, it's like because they want them to be what they were in the 70s and 80s again, or something. They're just one of those rich dynasties that.
But can you imagine? Just think about that. If he was the Dallas Cowboys QB,
Yeah, you'd never hear the end of it, man.
dude. Oh man, I probably would hate him. I probably would.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't know. For anyone out there watching this, listen, I guess our message is, sometimes these things happen to us, these irrational hatreds. Hopefully, you can work through them and not waste too much mental energy on it because life is short enough as it is.
I got one more.
Yeah.
The only time I ever cried during a sporting event, 2007, when we lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Because that was a perfect season on them.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Right.
The only time I ever cried.
yeah.
So I think there might be a little hatred for Eli,
Yeah.
but he is such a good guy. He is so funny.
Yeah.
Him
yeah,
and
yeah.
Peyton are hilarious.
They are.
Yeah.
Like, they go on SNL, and I'm like, dude, these guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And you
yeah,
would think that I would like dislike the younger kid, Arch Manning, going in
Yeah.
Texas right now, college
yeah,
quarterback.
Yeah.
But they're just great guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, why do we hate these people? They're
No,
just
they
humans.
they seem very comfortable in their own skin. Like
Yeah.
they're not putting on a show, in my opinion. That
Yeah.
when they're out there doing Q&As or commercials or whatever, they look like they're fun-loving, fun guys. Yeah,
And they look like they will have an honest conversation with you.
yeah.
Probably more than Brady, to be honest, if I'm being serious. Like, I feel like both the Manning brothers would like literally be in here having a conversation more than Brady probably would, because he's he's in Vegas now doing his thing. But yeah,
Yeah. All right. Well, Ray Lemieux, we want to give you some time here to discuss, just a question from, your perspective. You've lived now a good chunk of your life. What's kind of, your take on, these questions of spirituality or the meaning of life? I mean, what's your feeling now, having gone through what you've been through?
Yeah, I guess I have I had the Roman Catholic exposure when I was younger, but I asked too many questions, I think, as a kid. And
Right.
I was literally told to shut up and read the book, by more than one person in CCD class or at church or whatever. It was like we're not open for debate.
Right,
So
right.
you have questions. It wasn't a good thing. So that got old really quick. Even as a 8-year-old, I was like, I don't want to be here, So I left that in the rear view after having some very funny experiences at Roman Catholic churches that were French Canadian. So they were not only an hour and 45 minutes long, they were in French. And I'm not a fluent French speaker. So as a kid, it was brutal. I mean, it was really brutal. But my dad was the one who was behind me going because his mother was very devout from Canada, on and on and on. But it didn't last long. And I've not been a practicing Catholic for many years. So through the years, I've not given it much thought. I think you mentioned in the previous podcast that, up to a certain point in your life, you're pretty self-serving. You're worried about you and where's the fun and what am I doing next? And, food, money, girlfriends, whatever it was. Like, it's a very self-centered life. I mean, I don't think that's abnormal. Some kids at a young age are more worldly thinking or altruistic or whatever, but I certainly wasn't. And then I married late in life, had kids later in life, and then it all starts. Then you're like, oof, right. It's not just me.
Right.
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 But religion never came up. I think we tried to give our kids blank slates and not tell them they're going to follow the Jewish religion or the Roman Catholic religion or any religion. We just raised them to be decent kids. And therefore, if when they're 17, 25, whenever, if they want to make a choice, they're not bound by something. Go and experience, go and research, go and talk to your friends. If you want to be Catholic, it's possible.
Right.
You can do it. You can do all those steps. It's fine. We're not going to be mad. It's your life. But
right.
So Sarah, my wife, and I were just very much like, let's not introduce that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and just curious, your kind of your personal thoughts. Like, what do you think the meaning of this whole exercise of life is?
That's a very good question, and I've been thinking about it since you sort of sent me some show notes. And I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. Clearly,
right.
I don't have a very eloquent answer for you, other than I don't think it's being part of an organized religion.
Right.
I don't think pigeonholing yourself to a certain way of thinking or one book or whatever is healthy. I think you should be open to what other people think and suck it all in, absorb it, let it all be part of you, politically, religiously, community-wise. Like, I think that's a healthy way to be.
Right. Well, I think, there's this kind of question. I think a lot of these religious traditions have had very, very kind of strict rules and regulations. And to some extent, I think it's helped maybe keep the tradition, going over thousands of years and keep it intact. But there's also, I think, this question of at what point do they limit the person's freedom of expression, freedom of thought, to the point where maybe they get stuck within a very, very narrow framework. So these are difficult questions, right?
I would say I would agree. I think as an atheist, which I guess I am, I don't agree that there's only one way to look at things. And I think when you put someone in a box, you're just restricting their ability to interact with the world to some degree. I mean, look at all of the strife over the centuries, the millennia, based on that rock was touched by somebody 1,000 years ago, and I'm gonna fight till I die,
right,
to keep that rock in my village, and you can't have it. Like that.
Right.
That kind of thinking. That's very minute, but on a macro scale, that's kind of bad energy. That's bad chakra to be.
Yeah. Well, no, I think there's always this very, very thorny question of when religion and politics get mixed up. And and a lot of these traditions originally were, in their pure form, are very much focused on the individual spirit within the human being. But then, as they get intertwined with existing power structures, and it becomes a means of, either political or economic control, it just gets tricky. I think it becomes very, very complicated. And
absolutely.
And I think maybe some of the original intent of the teachings to focus on the individual soul gets lost in all this other stuff.
Because as we were talking earlier about the lack of material needs is a very Buddhist way of being, right? And if that was more of what people signed on to, then there'd be a little bit. If you get robbed, are you going to hate that person for the rest of your life because you lost a backpack full of memories or a guitar or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Or are you just going to be like, listen, someone else has it now. I'll buy a new one. I can afford to release it. You know what I mean? Release that sort of, if you really wanted it, you could have asked, but you took it. So, so is it going to change because you've got this hate in you that like, oh, I can't believe I was robbed,
Right. Well, I think a lot of people would hold on to it.
Yeah.
Their whole life they would.
And I probably would too. But I mean, trying to not be that person, like we talked a little bit about when you have kids, your perspective changes.
Right.
Things that you hold on to lose their value because it's your kids that are the value.
Right.
And you got to keep telling yourself that over and over.
Yeah. There's actually a quick story about an Indian saint who was living out, on his own, and a thief came by and took a personal item of his, and the thief ran off, and the saint was chasing after him, and the thief thought that the saint was about to beat him up, so he fell at his feet and asked for forgiveness. And turns out the saint had come to give him another item and said, "I would rather just give this to you and not have you steal any more from anyone else."
Great story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many of us are capable of, that? I mean, it's a remarkable thing.
Depends on my mood.
Yes, yeah,
Right?
I believe you could do it, man. I think
Yeah.
you know.
No, it really does depends on my mood. Like if I'm like, I don't know, like if I have like a good day, I probably would just like do the same thing that you just said right there. But if I'm having a bad day, I'm like, But that's just life. Ups and downs, and how you feel is just what comes with it.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you, not about the religion of like teaching your kids, but a lot of like I never really went to church like that. Like I dabbled in Christian with my family, and then I went to Catholic church with my mom like before she passed away. One thing I always had around me was just people that did good. So like I never like went and veered off and did like bad because of the consequences. Like how is it like teaching your kids like to just be good human beings every day of their life? You know what I mean?
No, it's a great question. And I've always thought that the teaching of good over bad is not restricted. It's not something the Bible or the church has a monopoly on. That's all to me. That's a man-made set of instructions based on life. Like life existed before the Bible, and it's not. They weren't it wasn't their idea. So like generally humans exist, and you are able to tell your kids, does it feel good to do this or does it feel good to do that? How does it feel to you?
Yeah.
And somebody else might say, well, that's God making you feel that. And you can have that opinion. We just raise our kids with, it sounds dumb, but it's like you try to be common sense, do you want your friend to feel like garbage when you say something like that to them? Or do you want to be,
I think a lot of it is love too. A lot of these kids
yeah.
in this society now probably didn't see so much love
Yeah.
or whatever. And
Yeah.
I feel like it like changes their way of thinking.
Yeah,
You know
I think
what
it
mean?
really messes you up.
Like
Have
my
that loving
mom, my
experience.
sister, my aunts, my grandmother, they all gave me love, whether I was on my Puerto Rican side or my Italian side.
Right.
It was just
Has nothing to do with how much
Yeah.
money you have. It's like you can have a great childhood with loving parents and be dirt broke, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't that's not part of it. You can be a great kid who knows what to do, does the right thing, and come from any background.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, anything else to add on this topic?
I feel like that was good.
Yeah. So we have our traditions. So Ray Lemieux for his charity of choice. What do we got here?
It's the Owl's Head Transportation Museum in Owl's Head, Maine.
Yeah, representing for your roots.
That's right. Yeah. And it's not like I grew up there in this museum. It started in the 60s, so I could have. But over the years, it's been more and more a source of educational. They deal with airplanes, cars, motorcycles, anything that has an engine. And the way it's different from other museums is it has to be I think 67 or something to be in their collection. And it has to be drivable, flyable, operable. So if there's a replica of the Orville, the Wright brothers plane, they fly it once a year.
Wow.
Stuff like that. And so they don't have originals of everything. They do make very, very good copies, but they do have a lot of originals, but all of it has to work.
Yeah.
So they have a whole set aside of like teaching kids how to work on engines and internal combustion, baby.
Yeah, it looks like a beautiful museum.
Beautiful part of the world, and people that give a hoot about kids and where we came from,
right?
Automotively,
right? Yeah, and so we skipped the donation last episode because it was just Ray and I. So we're gonna double dose on this one. This episode, this donation is dedicated to a certain retired NFL quarterback named Tom Brady. So we're going to be making a donation to an organization called Best Buddies International, which Tom Brady has been deeply involved with for a long time, and has helped raise a lot of money for them. And for those who don't know, Best Buddies International pairs individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities and puts them in social settings or with mentors, and essentially gives them a chance for really meaningful social interactions that they may not get otherwise. I think it's a great mission. I think Tom's helped raise, like a lot of money for this organization over the years. And so if nothing else, At least my hatred of Tom Brady has led to this donation
There you go.
to Best Buddies International.
So fun fact, I actually the place I work with does Best Buddies every year. So
Oh, does it really?
yeah.
I didn't know.
So I
that, yeah.
literally will be starting fundraising at my store for Best Buddies
you
in
go.
like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah. And I went to the Best Buddies. When Tom was here, he would always host something at the Harvard football stadium, and he'd just bring a bunch of people, and they play like flag football.
Oh, that's
so I saw
awesome.
Brady one year, and I saw he was with Rob Ninkovich, I believe,
That's great.
and that was pretty dope.
Yeah, when they give back to the kids, it's awesome, man. When they can come out and do something for free, and
We gave him ice cream and stuff. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's again, how could I spend all these years hating Tom Brady when he's doing meaningful social work? I don't know. It was a waste of time.
I mean, he was always a community guy. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Irrational by definition doesn't need an explanation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Correct. Yes.
Just when he put on the helmet, he was just a different person. For you.
Yeah.
But under that helmet,
Yeah. So, despite Ray's atheism, he has decided to join us in the minute of unconditional love to all beings and all points of space and time.
Love it.
Ray, you want the flip honors?
I got you guys. Ready? Mhm.
I think we did better this time.
I know.
Yeah,
I was probably closed my eyes the whole time that time.
I was going to ask you beforehand, how do you know when the minute's up if your eyes are closed?
If you see it,
You-
Yeah. The first couple of times was rough. This
Yeah.
time I actually chanted. In my
I
mind
felt
against
great.
The time.
I-
So,
I-
that was like
Yeah.
purity right
I
there.
have to do that more often.
I felt calm
Gopal.
right there.
Yeah,
the other
that's
two
good.
times, I was like, I looked at you,
yeah.
I opened my eyes.
Yeah.
looked back down, and said,
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say just thank you, first of all, but also that this doesn't happen enough for me. Like, it's really nice to be able to do something different, a different environment, talk to guys. I don't know you at all. I've known Gopal for a while, but we don't have, deep conversations every week. So this has been great. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. It's
No, it's been awesome having you on, man.
I love deep conversations sometimes. You get to
Yeah.
you get to know the root of like people's soul and
Yeah.
stuff.
and be able to ask a question, even if it's good to have a safe environment to ask questions
Yeah.
that might be headbutting in some other situations, but not that today was. I'm just saying, like, it's great. You can be like, hey, why don't you believe? And like, well, why do you?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You grew up in Maine, right?
Yeah.
So how is it being around all that nature?
Oh, the best thing ever for me. Yeah. The coastline, especially. I mean, there's plenty of Maine that's in the woods and has its own magic, but the coastline is just incredible. I mean, the rocks are glacially laid. They're monsters. There's no sandy beaches where I grew up. It's like you got to crawl over sea urchins and barnacles to get in the water. It's a bloody experience going swimming where I grew up, because the waves wash you back in, and it's crazy. So, but the sailboats and the motorboats and Andre the Seal and Seagull, I mean, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous way to grow up. I have not a sour taste about my history in Maine I have a little sour taste, but we're not going to go down that road.
Have you ever felt? I know you said you never meditated, but like you ever felt peace being out there?
As a kid?
Yeah.
As a kid, I didn't really know what that meant.
No.
As a kid, I was gone all day long. Get on my BMX bike, hit the road at 8 a.m, and I'd eat a different meal at a different person's house and come home after dark, crossing Route 1 in the process as a kid. Not a slam my mom. Like she was just, I think she trusted that I was smart enough to not get killed by a semi and not drive into a ditch and die. Like whatever the reason, that's how my life was. I was out and about, and I don't think I ever slowed down and stopped to think like, what's my youth like compared to others? Or what's my place in the world? Or, how do I fit in? What's the greater meaning of life? Never. That my shortcoming, I'm sure, but it just never dawned on me.
While you was on stage either, no?
No,
like when you looked out there and seen everybody.
It's amazing. Yeah. It really is, and there are people that have played much bigger shows than we've done. And it's not necessarily the size of the crowd that makes you feel like, ooh, I've made it. It's more like when the band played as good as you knew the band could play. Those nights were sometimes in front of 8 people, but you nailed it. And you're like, why can't we do this when we're at the Palladium? Why can't we do this when there's a record release concert and everyone's there to see us, when we let our nerves get a hold of us and we kind of sucked? Like, why can't we? But when the pressure's off and the 4 of us hit that sweet spot, there's nothing better. It was amazing. You feel like you could play anything, sing anything, hit any note. You know what I mean? It was awesome.
I like that. That's my question.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you. This has been a fun episode.
Thank you.
Hopefully someone out there is kind of gets a chance to deal with their irrational hatreds in a slightly saner way. And I gotta say, personally, I feel like a weight is off my soul, now that I can clear this whole Tom Brady hatred thing. Yeah. God bless you, man.
We love you, Tom.
Yeah.
Ray, I was gonna ask you, do you have any any quotes that you live by? Like anything?
Boy, good questions, but no, I'm a pretty basic guy.
Nothing that stuck with you, but like your mom.
No. You've been, in the previous episodes, you've done the do unto others as you want them to do unto you, which I've actually taken that from my short time with religion, and I think that does sum up a lot of how would that guy feel if I did that to him, or so yes, that's a little bit of like think twice before you do something. I love that, measure twice, cut once. Yeah. That can be applied to a lot of your life. Like think before you shop, think before you turn left if you can't see where you're going. Think before you say what you really want to say. Sleep on it. You know what I mean? Like just trying to control the impulse.
Yeah.
Impulse control is amazingly hard, and when you do get a hold of it, you feel great.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
All right. Well, yeah. It's good times. Ray and Ray, thank you both. So until next time, this is Chakra Free Radio signing off.